Hey, sorry for the late post. So I was supposed to read this the other day, but today I just got time to record. So hope you all enjoy. This is part 3 of Excerpt readings. Today we're reading a story made by 0001. It's called Nar. Hope you all enjoy. Are you also not hungry, Olivia? You've been sucked into that book for this whole time now, queried Freda. Her demeanor towards her was evidently wholehearted. I just want to finish this book as soon as I can, she responded. Her gaze was still fixated on the book. This prompted me to ask her, what are you reading about? Cognizant of her love for this book. It must have been an esteemed book, or so I thought. She took a few moments before finally lifting her head. Glancing at me, her innocent-looking face ever so enchanting, as she placed the book on her slender legs, she said, Fine, I will, as the entire table fell silent. Olivia sprouted more than just a few words, was once every blue moon occasion. Even Benair paused, his indulging, as he lifted his eyes from his plate to the table, eagerly listening along. It's a story about a young boy who sold his soul to the devil in exchange for magical powers. My eyes widened in apprehension as I gulped before she continued her episode. He began to perform many miracles for his people, and he would eventually be acknowledged as their savior, and would even be considered their esteemed god amongst the population. There was once a man who was, like many others, a devoted follower of the young boy. His faith in him grew so strong that he decided to build a church to honor the young boy's prosperity. He would eventually set within that church and continue his miracles for the people there. But as the young boy once said, for every painting, the brush is tainted the most. And while there were many that did not understand the saying, the faithful man understood this. He saw that there were still many unbelievers and opposers of the young boy, and he would eventually be accused of witchcraft and devilish acts. As fate would have it, the opposers would grow in power and overtake the church, taking the life of the young boy in the process. Their savior was dead, and so the miracles died off too. The faithful man was greatly affected by this. He wished for the sins to be taken on himself, resulting in him deciding to stand on a high mountain cliff, promising the few remnants of followers that his miracles do, in fact, still exist. For he would become the one to take all sin upon himself, so that their faith in the young boy would be restored. A request of the existence, you could say. He would not eat or drink anything for 7 whole days. Day after day, nothing would happen. The birds would simply start chirping again. The sun would rise and fall once again, and the people's faith would diminish over time. But that was upon the 7th day when something extraordinary happened. The body of the faithful man would begin to transform. His blood began to thicken. His skin would begin to harden, as he started to lose himself over time. His life was slowly being taken away from him, as his body began to transform into a grotesque statue. On the 8th day, his act of devotedness, all the remaining followers gathered around the cliff to witness the faithful man's last moments of his life. And before he was completely turned into stone, the last thing he was able to exclaim out of his mouth was, O holiness, I thank you for displaying your holy presence. The newborn statue would soon after start growing a tree, its roots originating from the faithful man's heart, which would then sprout its trenches throughout his mouth. This tree would grow exponentially high and would blossom like none other. The most beautiful tree I've ever seen, many would say. And they would refer to the tree as the heavenly tree. Yet they, and the faithful man never knew that this tree was never a heavenly signification at all, but an evil tree. After all the miracles the young boy performed were under the influence of the devil, not a divine being of good. His opposers were right, after all. But the followers could never believe such a thing, for he became their only speck of light in the lives of dusk, and the miracles the young boy would perform didn't come true. For them, it was nothing more than a blatant act of blasphemy against their God. Hope you enjoyed the third excerpt reading, and sorry that I released this so late. I'll release more later on. If y'all want to post your excerpt readings, just put it in the Discord. I should have it linked in the description. And have a good day.